This is National Native News. I'm Megan Kamrick, in for Antonia Gonzalez. Ancestral artifacts collected in the Kodiak Archipelago in Alaska nearly 150 years ago have arrived back home. They're on loan from a museum in France and will remain in the Alutiiq Museum and Archaeological Repository in Kodiak for 5 years. The objects were collected by a 19-year-old French anthropologist, Alphonse Pinard, a linguist who visited Kodiak in 1871 and 72. Dacia Eaton with KMXT attended a welcoming ceremony for the objects at the museum.
While the crowd waits for the screws to be taken out of the inner boxes, the Alutiiq dancers sing a traditional call-and-response song. A line forms for onlookers to file by the tables where the objects sit. As the packing paper is removed, Alutiiq descendants get their first glimpse of their ancestors' work. At last, the cultural treasures come into view: 2 carved wooden masks and a woman's beaded headdress set, which includes 2 bracelets and a dance belt. One elder greets the items in Alutiiq. Alutiiq elder Florence Matfei Pesterkoff admires the headdress beads of white, green, and blue.
I am thankful that these people who took them from here preserve them for us.
She said she's never had a traditional headdress of her own and hopes to make one like it for herself. 22-year-old Derek Shaya, an intern at the Alutiiq Museum, has been to France to see some of the objects, but he says he's still awed to have them here today.
I'm really particular to the masks, I think, just because there's so little that's written about them, and it was an art that was lost on Kodiak for a long time.
I can tell you I did not sleep last night because I was so excited.
That's Elder Margaret Roberts. She's chair of the Alutiiq Heritage Foundation and has worked to reawaken Alutiiq culture since the 1980s.
This has been a dream that came true.
In September, the new items will be incorporated into displays on Alutiiq spirituality. In addition, the museum plans to assemble a group of beaders to study and recreate the regalia to share as replicas when the historic set returns to France. In Kodiak, I'm Dacia Eaton.
A judge ruled in Leonard Peltier's favor this week in a suit the native rights activist brought against Washington State's Department of Labor and Industries, claiming violation of his First Amendment rights. The Seattle Times reports the department removed his paintings from an exhibition in 2015 after 2 retired FBI agents complained. Peltier was convicted for the murders of 2 FBI agents on the Pine Ridge Reservation in South Dakota and is serving 2 life sentences, although he has long maintained he's innocent. U.S. District Judge Ronald Layton denied the state's motion to dismiss Peltier's suit and said the case should go to trial. Layton equated the removal of the paintings to government censorship. Officials with the Bureau of Land Management inadvertently published confidential information that contained locations and descriptions of numerous cliff dwellings, rock art, and other Native American antiquities in Utah. A report by Reveal found the document may have violated federal regulations and included details of ruins that were supposed to be kept confidential. One archaeologist called the document a gold mine for pot hunters. Scientists and Native American tribes have shared information with BLM about antiquities with the understanding it would not be made public. For National Native News, I'm Megan Kamrick.
National Native News is produced at the Annenberg National Native Voice Studios by Kawanak Broadcast Corporation. Funding is by Odawi Law Group, provider of Indian law solutions, and by the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, with support from the Public Radio Satellite System.
Support by First Tribal Lending, NMLS 150009, the nation's most experienced Section 184 lending team. Info for home loans on and off the reservation available at onetribal.com. That's the numeral 1tribal.com. Support by Freedom Lodge, presenting Body and Earth, the future of Native wellness, an investment to protect our ways of life to benefit 7 generations to come, September 12th through the 15th. Early bird discount extended to August 1st at bodyandearth.org.
Native Voice One, the Native American Radio Network.